Welcome back, friends. Thanks for sticking with us. Look, if you're feeling stressed about your finances, have you ever thought about doing a check-in? We have made it to the middle of the year, and our next guest says this is a good time. Here to guide us through the process is financial advisor Gregory Ricks. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's awesome to see you as well.
Yes, of course. Thanks for being here as always, Gregory. And first, let's talk about this, right? I feel like now is a good time, maybe for two reasons, right? Is it because since we're in July now, we can kind of see our spending over the last 6 months, and then we have the next 6 months to change it? Is that why this is a good time?
This is a good time. Most people don't like to do a budget, so they're not really paying attention, and it could be creating some stress with what's going on this year. You know, we've got some inflation, we've got tariffs, we've had market volatility, we've had wars. It creates so much worry, and I worry about people's stress.
Absolutely.
But it's a good point to revisit to see how things are going, because you can look back and hopefully you did set some goals and you can see where you are with it.
And that's what you suggest when you start looking at a mid-year financial check-in. First, review your goals. Look at if you actually accomplished the goal that you set at the beginning of the year. But you also say if you have not done that, start with a long-term goal and then go from there. Give me an example.
Yeah, just work your way backwards. So, you know, I set yearly goals and to see where I'm at from a personal standpoint and a business standpoint. And from my personal standpoint, I'm good. I think I've traveled too much. Can you believe that this
No
year?
such thing, no such thing.
So from a business standpoint, I think we're a little bit behind, but we always do better in the second year. And that's, we keep up metrics and data on how we're helping families. So that's important to us. So then you make adjustments, and it's kind of a mid-year look for myself as well, my personal and business, to see where we are and what adjustments we got to make going forward.
Give me an example, right? If someone is like, oh my goodness, I didn't set a goal at the beginning of the year, but now that I'm hearing this conversation with Malik and Gregory, let me set a goal. Give me an example.
Could be yearly savings or where you want to be from a long-term savings standpoint, and we should have long-term savings for retirement, and sometimes it's too far out to maybe you don't want to look 30 or 40 years out, but you might have a 10-year goal to work towards. And I always kind of say, what's the hardest money to save? It's your first $100,000. Then it becomes a machine. Think of compounding, and let's use hypothetically 7.2% return. Why? The math is easy. It doubles every 10 years. So the hardest thing is to save $100,000, but once you have it saved, you're on it's automatic or automated, because at 7.2%, that $100,000 in 10 years is going to go to $200,000. That $200,000 another 10 years is going to $400,000.
It's going to take my whole life.
And then you are still adding more to it, but you don't have to look at it that way. But whatever period you think would be good for you. It might be $50,000, but you kind of create money to start working for you. It will make life better. It will reduce stress over time. Having emergency money reduces stress. We're going to have periods of inflation. You're going to have market volatility. We're going to have news that we don't like could be political, it could be some war in another land. All these things are kind of disruptions, which leads me to you also need to revisit your risk.
And let's talk about that actually, because you know you do suggest reviewing your goals. You also suggest planning for healthcare costs, and you just mentioned this earlier as well, talking about tracking your savings. When it comes to healthcare costs, what's the number one thing we need to focus on?
People are really stressed about healthcare costs, and they don't like spending money on it, so then they put off getting health care or seeing the doctor, and then things may get worse, and now they've got to spend more money.
Right.
A lot more companies have high deductible plans, so you're needing to have an HSA with some money in it so you can access, and you should have emergency money as well. And I'm more proactive on health treatment. I'd rather spend a little bit now than having to spend more later. Things are better if you're proactive on finances and health as well.
It's so important. And of course, you know, there are high deductible insurance plans versus non-high deductible insurance plans. Think about what will work best for you. And again, tracking your savings is another thing to focus on in this mid-year review. Remember, 3 to 6 months of all living expenses. Woo! But you also suggest a budget audit. What does that look like?
I like doing a budget audit because 70% of the people don't like to do a budget.
I hate budgets. I hate them.
So monthly, you should be looking at where you stand from a cash standpoint, money you have on hand, whether it's emergency savings, your checking account balance. But at some point, you need to look at what's the outflow. How is that looking compared to the beginning of the year? You may not have done a budget, but is my spending more or less? And what might you need to go in and look at and correct? And you might have been spending more. Why? You're stressed. You might say, well, you know, I need a shopping spree, or I need shoes.
Sure do, or a vacation.
Or vacation.
Well, look, at the end of the day, when you write it down on paper and you see where your money is going, that visual representation really can help you see where all of the money has gone. So please try to do that. Gregory, so good to see you.
Remember to communicate with somebody on these things for help.
Absolutely, and if you're looking for help, guess what? Gregory Ricks, he's available. Log on to GregoryRicks.com or give him a call at 504-832-9200. His office is located in Metairie.